It's Josh.
And Kamala.
And this is what we're into.
Hi, woohoo!
So forced.
I can't help it.
You have to go back to the original thing.
Yeah, but you screwed it up for me because we haven't done it for so long. So shut up.
Editing.
Yeah. So this is a very special episode of what we're into. This is a date night podcast where two 30-something-year-olds talk about things that they like and how they spend their very limited free time together. Very special episode because in this particular episode, we're going to teach you about the dangers of drug use and why you shouldn't join a gang. And
that's not it at all.
Don't lock yourself in a freezer in the dump because no one will find you.
Sure, we've changed the whole format.
Punky Brewster.
This is second season, so we're still trying to figure out our stuff.
Well, okay. The reason it's a very special episode is because we are doing our very first, what we've decided to call a double date episode.
Yay!
So you do it now, but you can't do it.
Because I'm excited.
So we decided that every 10 episodes, maybe every 5 episodes, we're going to do something that's going to change the normal format of the episode. So generally it's just me and Kamala sitting around and I talk at her about why Pokemon is great or whatever.
There's a lot of him talking.
Okay. So we're doing a double date episode. We've invited our friends, Frank. You can say this is an audio medium. You have to talk.
I was waiting for my signal.
That wasn't your signal.
Oh, okay.
I said your name.
Frank.
Frank is joined SepiaToneComa, currently on trial basis. She's on probation right now.
That is not true.
Kamala tells me how to run the business.
Should have dressed nicer.
She joined us for our last convention. Sold a bunch of stuff, and you'll see a lot more of her stuff on Scudsworth.com. So keep your eye out in the upcoming weeks and months as more of her awesome shit comes out. You have anything to say to your fans?
Very exciting things coming. Lots of new mediums that I'm trying out, like digital, which I am struggling with, but it's getting there. I like to upload my NSFW on Patreon on Mondays, my Hump Day post on Wednesdays, and a YouTube video Fridays.
Perfect.
Just gonna save that for the end, but no. This way people are gonna listen to it and actually
double plug.
Yeah, double plug.
She's not new.
She knows the skills.
News, man.
The more baritone voice that you hear is Sterling, who is Frank's paramour.
Hi, everybody. They just brought me along for the good looks.
Again, this is an audio project, so nobody can tell.
Hey, my voice is beautiful. Everybody's going to love it.
Fair enough. Good point. So this being our first time doing a double date episode, I have done roundtable podcasts before, so hopefully we can figure out the rhythm pretty quickly here, but it might be a little bit sloppier than normal episodes. We'll see how good of a job Kamala does at editing.
Shots fired.
I know, right?
It's not a shots fired. It's just saying people have come to expect a certain level of professionalism from us, and we fail to meet it at every turn.
Rude.
I'm not.
What, 200 people listening?
Fair. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's almost that.
We're doing very well for ourselves.
We are adding new listeners every episode, which is why we're selling out and doing something that's already popular. So today we are going to talk about what we like of the Fallout overall franchise. And this is where we pause to let the music play for a little bit, because we do an intro.
I can do it.
It's not Jeopardy.
That's the only one I know.
No, we get the music from like the property that we're talking about.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense than me humming something.
That was just the first 2 episodes was Josh humming.
Yeah, exactly.
We did a Halo episode, and I was just like.
Oh my god.
This is going to go off the rails almost
That's
immediately.
okay. We're gonna do this.
So where we usually start is talking about our first introduction to the thing. So let's start with the noobs here. Sterling, do you want to tell us your first experience with Fallout, like where you came into the series, what really drew you in?
Well, my first experience would have been with Fallout 3. I didn't discover it immediately. It was probably about 2007 when I finally found it. And that was just because I was a huge fanboy of the Elder Scrolls games. Fell in love with Morrowind as a teenager. And then Oblivion, I probably played for a good 600 or 700 hours. And when Fallout came out, I was a little skeptical. Wasn't too sure with Fallout 3. But once the Game of the Year released, I gave it a try and I absolutely fell in love with it. And it has eclipsed my favorites list for Morrowind and Elder Scrolls overall. So I prefer the Fallout series to the Elder Scrolls series. I'm a bit of a Bethesda fanboy that way, but...
So you started with 3, or...?
I started with 3. That would have been my first introduction to the Fallout series. I never played anything before that. I still haven't gone back to play the previous games, so I really don't know a whole lot about the history beyond then.
They're fine. You gotta like what it's actually pitching to you because it's super different.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard it's quite a bit different. So yeah, 3 would have been where I started, and it just the love for the series grew from there.
Awesome.
Cool. Frank, do you have a similar story?
Yeah, something like that. I never really had my own consoles or anything like that. I really played everybody else's that I knew.
Yeah.
So I feel like I did play a little bit of the second Fallout at the very tail end, but the first one that I do remember playing was New Vegas.
Yeah.
And then I went back and started playing the other ones. But I like RPGs that are like this with this sort of content. I always found Final Fantasy and stuff like that to be a little bit too hokey for me, whereas this I kind of identify with a little bit more. It's a little bit
because
more,
the world is dying.
it's a little bit more angsty and serious, right? So,
you don't believe in the power of friendship? Come on.
Yeah, I don't think cereal and rainbows are really going to do it this time.
Okay.
But yeah, I really like that. And then when 76 came out, same thing. I just really enjoyed all the lore and everything like that. But I think it was 3 that I really noticed, but New Vegas was the first one I played.
Cool. I mean, my introduction was kind of the same. I picked up 3 with the Game of the Year. I mean, I loved it. It was great. And then I had a friend who had like the old, like the jewel cases where you're like, it looks legit, but the fact that you're giving it to me in just a blank CD case makes me feel like you just got a real good fake. So I did play 2. I tried playing 1, but like I said, it's so different that it was a little too unpolished at that turn. And I mean, that game was released in, I want to say like 97.
Which, the third one?
97.
No, the first one was
97.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if that was
She's got
Bethesda that was
notes.
doing it at that point.
No, Black Isle Studios.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
So
Bethesda didn't start until
Bethesda
Fallout 3.
was
That was when
3.
they
That's right.
they bought the property.
Bethesda did 3, 4, and 76, I think.
And I mean, they're not bad in any particular way. It's just you definitely have to like that. Because I mean, it's top-down view. It's it's third person. You're just clicking and moving around
What
instead
does
of like
top-down view mean?
the camera's at the top and you're just looking at like the full plane.
Like you can see yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
where like first person is like you're just seeing
out
your
your
hands
like
and stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it,
like old school Pokemon.
it's
Okay.
super
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
super different than the new stuff, right? So like if you came in with the new stuff, like the other stuff is a huge, like, I want to say culture shock, but more like era shock, you know?
Yeah.
It's like 97, they were definitely doing completely new things. Not every new thing was good, especially because we are 20 years into the future now, and that's just not how people make games anymore, so.
It's very true.
And what was your introduction to it?
Well, I don't play video games like those because that's just too violent for me. But my first introduction, I guess, was the Polygon Monster Factory that Griffin and Justin McElroy did.
Yeah.
They did the final Pam. It was 3 episodes. What Fallout was that?
They
was
did one before that because we watched D-Bomb.
Right, D-Bomb. That's right. D-Bomb would have been the first
one, yeah.
Then Final Pam. So D-Bomb was
Fallout 3. And Final Pam was Fallout 4. Because they did that, like, right after the game was released.
So that would have been my introduction. And it's funny up to a point because the character creation part is hilarious. But when they actually start playing in the episode and they start shooting things, and Griffin finds out how to respawn dead things, and then to kill it again and respawn it again and kill it again and respawn it again, I just stopped watching after that because I'm like, that's just nasty.
So
I can't do gore. And of course, you all know that I can't do gore because we've talked about that in the last few episodes that I do not do gore.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of spooky episodes lately.
Spooky episodes, yeah. So that was my introduction, and then like other than that, it's just been. Josh's what is it called?
I did
The Legendary Adventures of Punch Boy.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of a machinima, but it was more like a let's play type thing where we were just
dicking around.
We were playing the game and inventing a story as we played it, so it was kind of more of...
And that was with our roommate Matt at the time.
Yeah, Matt. Well,
but that's it.
Matt's a member of ScudsWorth.
Yeah, that's true. Matt, yeah. So that's me. That's all I got.
If you want to watch it, it's on ScudsWorth.com. You just go under the videos tab, look for Legendary Adventures of Punch Boy.
Well, you could have left that to the end.
Is that how we're going to do it? First notice.
Oh yeah, probation.
Yeah, right. Super quick brief history. Fallout is a series of post-apocalyptic role-playing. She's got it on her thing. Maybe I should have you do it. Do you want?
Yeah.
Why? Okay, Frank is going to give the super short series rundown.
Yes. Okay, so super short series rundown. Fallout is a series of post-apocalyptic RPG video games. It started in 1997. It has been done by various different companies throughout time, but the most popular, I would say, would be Bethesda.
Yep.
Doing, what was it, 3 New Vegas and 76, I think they did?
They did 3, 4, and 76.
That's
New
right,
Vegas
sorry. New Vegas was 76, my bad.
Oh, Obsidian.
Yes.
So yeah, the series really picked up around 2008 when Fallout 3 came around, and then it was followed by Fallout New Vegas in 2010. Then we had Fallout 4 in 2015, as well as 2015 we had Fallout Shelter, which is something interesting
that was actually
I would
really
like
good.
to
That
mention.
was really fun.
It was probably one of the more fun mobile games that I've played in my lifetime, for sure. Cool. It's pretty fun. Yeah, it's good. You basically get to be the overseer and you get to control your vault, plus the people from everything from jobs to procreating in your vault. Yeah. So
you two fuck now.
I don't care if you're siblings. Do it. Do it now.
That's right.
I'm creating a lineage.
I actually did create a vault like that. Just started with 2 people and I was like, inbreeding only. Nobody's allowed in from the outside.
Incest, am I right?
That's too funny.
Yeah, so a couple things to note is it's always set in America, which I find interesting.
I mean, America's the only place that's going to nuke itself into shit.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Different
All the nukes have been pointed at the U.S. for a very long time.
Yeah.
So exactly.
So let
Even
me tell
some of the
you
ones stationed there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a quick story about the Cold War. So it started in 1986, but in reality, it started back in the 40s.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So yes, like he was saying, definitely focused on the aspect of Fallout and nuclear war and what would have happened if bombs had actually destroyed our Earth. Couple things to note are things like the special. What are they? What would you call special?
Special is like your skill.
Your skills.
Yeah.
So you have different skills like strength,
Allocation,
perception,
I guess.
things like that. Vault Tech, Sterling might elaborate on later. Vault Tech was the company that made the vaults and decided to do a whole bunch of other shady things along with it.
Yeah.
So that's
Much like a lot of large American corporations.
I mean, it's almost as though they're making a statement about capitalism or something.
Right.
I am reading this real quick, just the general wiki here, and came across the phrase "atom punk retrofuturistic," and I hate that. I mean, like,
That's horrible.
I understand all those words separately,
Yeah,
but
together.
I mean, we can make that way better. I mean, atom punk retrofuturistic could apply to almost anything with the retrofuturism.
Literally anything with black eyeliner on.
I'm talking cyberpunk. I'm talking Johnny Mnemonic. I'm talking Existence. Existence? Was that the movie?
I don't know.
The sci-fi. It was a sci-fi movie where they. It was a VR game that they were playing, but it was a VR game inside a VR game. Spoilers for Existence. which saying it multiple times, that might be a penis enlarging.
May have read the email outbox.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is. Willem Dafoe's in it.
Okay.
Not Willem Dafoe. Anyways, I guess, let's divide this up into, like, favorites. What is, the favorite game, and then you can go over, like, the thing you like the best about it, like, why it's different from other stuff, because, I mean, there's not really much to talk about it beyond I played the first games, because, again, Fallout is so ubiquitous with, the thing, because it was so totally different, right? If somebody... It's one of those prime games, right? It's like every game copies another game, but Fallout is one of those ones that did something wholly special and unique, which is why
it created the original that produced all those copies after.
Yeah, exactly.
Which Bethesda is very well known for. They do that quite often.
I mean, yes, but also they do roll out a lot of broken games.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But they fix their games.
That's fair enough.
This is very true. Fallout 76 has had an update every week since it's open.
So I guess let's talk about the elephant in the room, because there's no way to get it out of there.
That's
right. I haven't played 76. We have actually quite a few friends who seem to really like it, which, considering like how every other conversation about it is, it's empty wasteland, which, I mean, perfect recreation of an actual Fallout universe, but you guys super like it, hey? Like,
yeah, I quite enjoy it, and I feel like just saying that it's an empty wasteland, I get that that's what everybody's saying, but I feel like that's sort of undermining it a little bit, because there's so much more. Like, it
does dismiss quite a huge...
It does. You take 10 steps in the game now and you find a quest that you can do or not do or whatever, right? And there are daily events and things like that they've really stepped up the mark with this one from other Fallouts, which I think really everybody being upset was a little bit off for me, because they introduced this aspect with Fallout 4. It's not like we didn't really see all this coming, and knowing that they were pushing some boundaries that really nobody had before.
I mean, a big complaint about it, though, is that you are supposed to be the lone wanderer, right? Or the lone survivor in the first one?
Fallout 3.
In 3, yeah.
Yes.
The lone survivor. And then in Fallout 4, the lone wanderer. And then in New Vegas, you were the postman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you were a delivery dude in that one.
Pretty much, yeah.
They found a exact reason to do nothing but fetch quests, and people loved it. So
that's awesome.
Well, that's not
And
true.
something to keep in mind, though, is with those older games, you were the lone wanderer or the postman or whatever, but you weren't alone in the wasteland.
No.
There were lots of other people.
Yes.
You know, and also the time frame of it. Most of those other games take place minimum 100 years after the bombs fall.
True.
You know, and so there's been a lot of time for communities to develop, for vaults to open or die off.
Yes.
Whereas 76, it's 25 years after the bombs dropped. Everything is fresh. It's one of the first vaults to open, which is why you are the only people released into the wasteland.
Right.
The only other vaults that have opened were opened unintentionally by outer forces that were intent on destroying what was inside.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because the survivors in there would find vaults, try to break in and steal their shit, right? It's basically Mad Max, but with vaults.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell us what it is that keeps you coming back for 76.
For 76, I would definitely say it's the updates and the different things that they put into the game. One of the best examples that I can think of at this very time that happened recently got my art nerd boner going hardcore. They introduced a pro snap camera. So what you had to do was you had to find this tourist. They were just in certain places and they sometimes were there, sometimes weren't on different servers and stuff. But you had to find a specific tourist who carried this camera. And so once you found this camera, you also learned that this tourist was trying to do things on his bucket list, so then you go and you continue the bucket list, so you have to go and take pictures of everything left on the list. And so I thought that was very different, very unique, very
that's a fun quest.
Yeah, if anybody remembers, what was it, Pokemon Snap?
Yeah.
I was going to say more up your alley, much more pacifist, not so violent.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I love Pokemon Snap.
That's right, yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah, you don't have to go killing everything all of the time. Some of these quests are a little bit different, right? I think
Pokemon battles are.
That's right, yeah, exactly.
That's the only violence in those.
What about you, Sterling?
For me, one of the things that keeps me coming back is the community. And the fact that it feels much more like a true RPG. Like, they don't give a lot of story. You've got a basic story that you follow leaving the vault. Beyond that, it's what the players create. You're going out there, you're creating yourself as a character, and you're creating the stories as you meet other people in the wasteland. And I think that's fun. Like, you come across some people who literally just want to be a douchebag raider, and they'll come in, blow all your crap up, kill you, take your stuff, and go about their business. And then you get others who they just want to band together. It's everybody, working towards a common goal. We want to clear this area out and make it livable and so on and so forth. So I think that's what's really fun about it is you really get a feeling for who people are and what they may do under those sort of circumstances.
That's pretty cool.
Very true. I also find that there is much more of the positivity and helping than there is griefing on the servers at the moment, for sure.
Yeah, the in-game community is way more positive than the reviewing community that you would see on YouTube or Reddit or anything like that. That's just it's negativity for views is what a lot of those people are putting.
That's always going to be the case, is that the reviewers themselves will be a lot more strict because they feel like they need to be more strict, right? And if you go in to enjoy something, I mean, you're going to find something to like from it no matter what, because you're coming in to enjoy it, right? Eventually you'll get a huge stinker. I mean, I've picked up some really shit games that...
100%, yeah.
I mean, so do you want to talk about Fallout New Vegas then? Because those were the other ones that you guys were saying was like the best.
Yeah, I mean, as far as favorites go, as Colin was saying, that definitely is what was my favorite for sure was New Vegas, and that's Obsidian. They got an opportunity from Bethesda and they ran with it. They went way outside the box. They added all kinds of gameplay mechanics that Bethesda, frankly, I felt was afraid to add. And in a very real way, they saved that series. Without New Vegas, I don't believe we would have had Fallout 4 the way we see it. Yeah. And I don't believe Fallout 76 would have come to fruition in the same way either. Obsidian added in things like making your own ammunition, survival modes where you actually have to consume food and water to survive in the wasteland, which, in a survival game like that, you should have to do. Fallout 3 was a little bit more holding your hand, whereas New Vegas, they basically dropped you in the middle of the desert and said, good luck, here's some scorpions and some death claws. You're not going to make it 50 feet. And a lot of us didn't make it more than 50 feet in that first day we played.
I mean, like, the one complaint I have about that is that it was a reason to do, like, here's a completely new world, a completely new system. You're not a vault dweller, so you have to start from the very beginning, and then they just gave you a Pip-Boy anyways, and it's like, nope, same old system, ha ha ha. Which is kind of disappointing, because it's like, I would love to try something, like, wholly uniquely new, but at the same time,
very true.
We're special.
I think you might be linking the Pip Boys to the vaults, which wasn't accurate. I mean, the Pip Boys essentially is what you've got in your hand there, that cell phone.
It's a cell phone.
That is what the Pip Boys were in the Fallout universe.
Yeah.
It was just
but only
a personal computer that you would strap to your body that also reads your
biometrics. And stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing was that you'll never see them with other vault dwellers, right?
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's not inaccurate, but it's also not. I mean, the environmental storytelling tells us that only vault dwellers or former vault dwellers or people who stole it off of vault dwellers would have one.
Gotcha.
And so it doesn't really make sense for the postman to have it, but he has given it to him by a kindly old man in a shack.
Yeah. Who saved him from a gunshot to the head.
Interesting point if anybody's wondering what Pip Boy stands for.
Oh, sure.
It's Personal Information Processor Boy.
See, I didn't know that. I
Personal
don't know anything
information
about
processor boy.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's good.
Was that invented by the McElroys? Personal information processor boy.
Boy.
Boy, that's a mouthful.
That's one good boy. I do want to mention my very favorite part about Fallout in general is that the vaults weren't designed for people to live in.
That's right.
You had alluded to it before.
Yes.
Only a handful of the vaults were ever meant to sustain human life. When the bombs dropped, the rest were all supposed to be used as social experiments and to evaluate human behavior and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question.
Yeah.
What's one of your guys' favorite one from that?
Oh, I know what my favorite one is.
I know what your favorite one is too. I bet you anything.
Oh, I bet you don't.
No?
No, which one? What, okay, what's your...
Well, I gotta know now.
The vault full of Garys?
No!
Oh, okay. I thought that would have been your go-to.
So, I don't actually think it was in any of the games, but it is official... it's official lore because it was commissioned by Bethesda. Bethesda commissioned Penny Arcade to write a series of comics about a vault. And the vault has one person in it and a crate full of puppets. And that is my favorite vault. He goes crazy because he creates his own little civilization out of puppets.
Wow.
I think the one that interested me the most was from 3, I believe, the freezing. I thought that was really interesting because it's something that we talk about
Vault
a lot.
3?
No, that would be Fallout 4.
Was it from 4? Okay, well,
Yes.
it's one of them.
The cryogenic freezing.
Cryogenic freezing.
Oh, okay.
Because it's something that we talk about so much.
111, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right. Yeah.
The one you emerged from.
The one you emerge from, yeah. I just thought that was really interesting because it's so prominent in our society as it is, talking about that kind of stuff with like science fiction and things like that. So I thought that was a really kind of neat thing to throw in there and how you would react if you actually had been unfrozen and it succeeded in less of an Austin Powers way and more of like a serious way.
So just to run through a couple of the other vaults here. There was a... let's see. There's a vault that was designed to test the obedience to authority and ethics of a large group of people subjected to extraordinary circumstances. The vault dwellers were informed that a single person must be sacrificed each year for the vault, otherwise the master computer would shut down all life support. In reality, it would have opened the door if they didn't sacrifice anyone. That is Vault 11, and it failed because everybody got killed.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yep.
For harvest.
Yeah. Because they just basically created a Mayan civilization. They had to sacrifice to Quetzalcoatl every year.
Well,
So
you're only
nobody
gonna last so long. Right?
Nobody was smart enough to be like, let's just try opening the door.
I'm sure the person who said that every year was the one that got sacrificed.
Never mind, never mind.
That's how they pick.
Nobody be smart around here, okay?
Vault number 19 was segregated into 2 groups, red and blue. The groups lived in separate sections of the vault and were governed by 2 overseers. Subliminal messages were routinely sent over to each side, causing mistrust among the inhabitants, and eventually a civil war between the 2 groups ended up in complete collapse of the vault. That one clearly failed because they're like, hey, your team A, your team B, fuck team B.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's a ton of these. I remember one was, it was 1 vault dweller and 78 leopards, and
That was a short one.
That was like... that was just leopards.
I'd really like to meet the person who is coming up with these social experiments at Vault Tech.
Right?
Like, hey, let's put a guy in a vault with a bunch of leaps.
Let's see how long that lasts.
Vault 55, all entertainment tapes were removed, so they had no entertainment.
So I have a question. How many vaults were there altogether?
Oh, they continually add more.
Yeah, they just keep adding them. Like the
For
last one
every
they
game, there's
added.
new ones. Yeah.
Well, and even 76, there's more than one because they just added, 51 is the Battle Royale vault. So that's where everybody gathers before they do the Battle Royale to find out who the next Overseer is. So they continue. And there's one that you found already that hasn't been opened. I can't remember what the number was on.
There's a few others in 76 that have
they're
not
going
been
to open for sure.
94.
94, that was the one I was
63,
thinking
I
of,
believe,
was
is another one
94.
that's out
So
there.
do you just go through the game and unlock all of these? Do you have to
No,
open
no.
them?
Not
Or is
all of
this
them are
just-
available. This is all like background lore.
This is lore, yeah. A lot of it's lore. Some of them you will come across. There's one, I can't put my finger on which one it is, but there is one that you come across at one point, isn't there?
I mean, there's a ton.
There's one that I'm thinking of specifically, but it's on the
If it's the
Which
Gary
game?
one where there was only people, only
it was-
dudes in there.
Yeah, and it
but
was
they had-
cloning to
they had cloning
reproduce.
technology. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
And they were all eventually all inhabitants were cloned from one person named Gary.
I love this.
And the speech had evolved to the point where all they said was the name Gary. That was their entire conversation.
Mark
Mark. Freaking Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they would say full sentences, but only use the word Gary.
The populated by one man and a crate of puppets is Vault 77.
77. I knew it had to be one like that because there were so many 77s at Comic-Con. That one was up a lot with 77. I knew that had to be a lore one, yeah.
So these vaults, they're just in one place, or do you come across them throughout your travel?
All across America.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Vault Tech was all across America.
I was just trying to figure that out.
Yeah, just think of like a giant underground bunker essentially that they've built, and those are the vaults. They station them around the
Like
U.S.
at the beginning of the one where you're frozen. Is that 4?
Yeah, that's fine.
At the beginning of that one, you actually get sign the piece of paper from the Vault Tech guy minutes before you actually get pushed into the street
vault,
and taken into the vault. So some of these people hadn't even.
That was the final pamphlet,
Yeah, that was
right?
the final thing.
Yeah. So they were still. Yeah, so they're all over the place.
Okay.
I do want to point out vault number 69, nice. The social experiment was of the 1,000 people who entered, there was only one man.
I believe they made a movie about that too.
Yeah, right?
I mean, Vault 68 was just the opposite. There was only one woman, which, I mean, I'm pretty sure they made a movie about that.
Yeah.
Quite a few, actually. I'll send you some links later. I mean, a lot of the story is told in the, lore tapes and stuff, so you have to read a bunch of them, especially in Fallout 3 you get the story and the plot and all the main stuff that's happening through the dialogue and through the other NPCs and characters that you can interact with. But a lot of the flavor text, and I mean, this was how the original games were too, building the world and explaining how everything works, the reason why they use bottle caps as a currency when there is still pre-war money everywhere. The reasoning for this is all explained in the flavor text and the background stuff, so you actually have to seek it out to get the full picture. But generally, the story itself is always going to be told with the people that you interact with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's what scared some people away from 76.
I
Was
mean, yeah.
a lot of people, when they go into playing a game, that they like having their handheld. They like a linear story,
And
something
this is
that they're
not
going
linear.
to follow,
I mean,
as opposed to
I
having
get-
to create your own.
I get that
okay.
too, but I think right now, in where video games exist, we've seen how people react poorly to this. We bought this game to have this experience and to hear the story. If you are not actively telling us the story and we have to go seek it out, then it's not going to hold our attention, because we had that same problem with Destiny, right?
Yeah.
Because Destiny didn't tell you the full story. You had to actively go
Seek
look for
out.
it, or the worst part was you had to go to a separate website to read the story, right? So the problem with not even just hand-holding or explaining the entire story is that you have done a bad job of choreographing the story where I can engage with it organically, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's the bigger thing is that the experience needs to be organic. Otherwise, you're telling me to do a book report.
Yes.
So,
yes.
See, I have to disagree because I am probably one of the stupidest technological people that I've ever met in my entire life. And even though you are to do your own thing in 76, I still found it very easy to be following a linear path if I wanted to.
Yeah.
It was still very go this way in order to do these things. Like, you didn't have to. Like, when you restarted your character, I bet anything you didn't go down that hill.
Oh, I did.
Oh, did you? Because the first thing I'm doing when I restart is I'm going to the back of the vault to see what's there. I'm telling you right now. Like, I'm just gonna absolutely...
you can just backtrack, right? You can just go back the other way.
Well, no, I know, but I don't know. I want to start it off a little bit differently, right? Yeah, so...
it's West Virginia.
For somebody
Mountain Mama.
It's Appalachia, people, come on. No, but for somebody who gets very flustered by things like that, I found 76 to be quite linear as opposed to not, for a game that is strictly not linear.
Yeah, and I think
good.
Bethesda did the right thing because they told all their fans beforehand this is what the game was going to be.
Yeah,
you know, they didn't say, hey, it's going to be another Fallout game like all the others. They let people know it was going to be different. It was going to frighten some people with
because it's not what the thing is.
Exactly. You know, and so they let them know ahead of time and committed to fixing any complaints or problems that cropped up throughout the release.
Yeah.
You know, whereas something like Destiny, I think they didn't say ahead of time that, you know, it's going to be a little bit different and you're going to have to seek the story out. People likely went into that thinking it was going to be your basic role-playing style game.
Right,
Yeah.
but you have to remember, though, that people are coming in expecting Fallout, right? And even if they're told otherwise, like... They were told otherwise the minute it was going to be a massively multiplayer game, right? Because we've all been around World of Warcraft. I don't know how many people have actually played it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm the only one who hasn't. But I played Warcraft, right? So I played the original game. So like that the games are not going to be the same, especially because MMOs have been around for as long as they are. Mm-hmm. But I mean you don't separate it from the fact that it's still Fallout. People have, a baseline expectation of what a Fallout game is.
True, but that's a good comparison, actually, is because Blizzard had the same issue when they went from their Warcraft style to World of Warcraft.
Yeah, they did.
You know, when WoW came out, there was a lot of pushback against them that this isn't the style of game that we're used
isn't what we want
from you guys. You know, like we want our old Warcraft.
I guess we just shouldn't be surprised that fans are always going to hate everything that comes out.
But that's why I like to be so positive towards it, because I see so much negativity and I don't think it's warranted. Because it's happened with Blizzard in the Warcraft series. It happened to Bethesda in the past when they took Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online, when it launched, it was just a buggy, crashy mess.
Yeah.
You know, especially for consoles. I'm a console gamer. I know PC players have it a little better. It's not usually quite as buggy.
I know, we can download the patch that some dude in his basement wrote.
Exactly, where it's on consoles.
That's where these idiots completely fuck their computer up, though, okay? This is why systems and consoles exist. Just saying.
You downloaded a lot more porn by accident.
Yeah.
Hey man, I was of the generation of LimeWire, let's be real.
Okay.
Yeah. But I feel like that's what separates the great gaming companies from the good gaming companies, is the ones who are willing to take those risks, do something different that's going to get backlash from their fans, but then stand by their decision and improve it so that fan base comes around and goes, okay, you know what, we understand what you were trying to do, and this was a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, how else are you going to make these games that end up being
How is the industry going to evolve if none of these companies are willing to take those risks?
And there's no other game right now that is going by actual, real time. Right? Like Fallout 76, the first year is you out of the vault. And then after that, the second year is going to be NPCs. They're doing it actual in real time.
Yeah, I mean, there's other complaints about that. The big one was that people came into 76, wanting there to be stuff to do.
NPCs to talk to and all that.
I want to be able to experience the story instead of having the story told to me through audio logs.
And reading.
Yeah.
So then I have a question.
Yeah.
Why are the robots, like the butlers and the Mr. Handys and stuff, why are they not considered NPCs?
That's a fair point. They should be.
They are NPCs
they are
because they're non-playable characters.
Yeah.
So I don't understand this NPC argument when you're running into all these Mr. Handys. The other one I'm thinking of is Miss Annie, the one who's trying to find her child.
I mean, the answer is robot racism.
That's a whole different podcast.
I mean, that's a different podcast. Yeah, well,
They're just angry because they haven't found the pleasure bots yet.
I mean, we know where the pleasure bots are. Those come out in the 23rd century. That's when Fallout 2 took place, and that's where the pleasure bots were.
Yeah, Missed an Opportunity was 69.
Hey, I mean, no, they didn't. Vault 69 was the one with one dude and all women.
That dude
But
was
they
the
could've
pleasure
been
bot.
one.
The original.
Then he died, they filled his body with robot parts, and now he vibrates too.
Some say that's an improvement.
I mean, most people say that's an improvement. I got some bad news for you, Sterling. I mean, we're going to be rounding around to the end of the thing, so let's do a couple of the other topics to really hit on. Kamala won't have... Well, what was your favorite mission in Final Pam?
Oh,
Final Pam? There was no mission.
I mean, there was a mission.
Okay, what mission?
Lots of missions.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I only like the creator part.
Okay.
And I like the part where she starts out at home, and they're doing the whole thing with, like... where he shoots down the helicopter and it flies and hits the backyard and there's just this big explosion and they're like...
I do this, yeah. How was our picnic? It was a backyard barbecue. The Smiths. Not very good, it doesn't seem.
Yeah. I only like the little goofy parts when it wasn't gory. Because once it was gory, I stopped paying attention. I was on my phone.
True mental husband.
And I think the only episode I think I got through was the last episode because that's when they were just completely out there to break the game.
Yeah.
They just got to the point where
So your favorite mission was breaking the game?
Just breaking the game. Just
Why would you do this, Todd?
Why would you do this, Todd? Why do you do this to us?
Yeah.
That was it. That was the only thing. I honestly don't know the game very well. That's why I was asking a lot of the questions. Because I was checking out Frank's notes and stuff, and it says it's like perk cards and events and other cool things about the game. I was just seeing if maybe Frank and Sterling could elaborate on a few of those things because I don't know enough about the game to act.
So let's just go with favorite missions first, and then we'll do favorite perks.
Okay.
And maybe favorite NPCs or otherwise other characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your favorite mission, and it could be in any of the games.
Well, I'm going to stick with 76 because that's what's freshest on my brain.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I should... Okay, can I say spoiler alert?
I mean, we're at this point in the episode where it's all spoilers.
My absolute favorite thing that I ever got to do in a Fallout game so far was when you get to sleep with Benny and then kill him in his sleep. That was probably my favorite part of any of the games.
In New Vegas?
Yeah, New Vegas, because he shoots you in the brain in the beginning of the episode, and then you get to seduce him and then smother him.
Okay, good. I'm glad you explained that part.
Yes.
So that was really fun.
You better watch your back, dude.
I love that.
I sleep with one eye open, don't worry.
Yeah, I bet you.
That's more of a neurological issue than anything else.
That's so I can keep gaming while I sleep.
Yeah, we really gotta get you in for a sleep study because this doesn't sound normal.
I'm the future.
And then one of the most interesting ones I thought of 76 that I do want to bring up. I know I already said one, but the one that I really liked was finding all the jukeboxes to bring music back to the wasteland. I thought that was a lot of fun. You really just have to go around and find all these jukeboxes and turn them back on. And then, of course, they attract a bunch of attention, so you got to kill a bunch of stuff. But yeah, that was my second favorite.
So it's like the final act in every mission in Left 4 Dead where you turn on too much noise and it attracts the horde. Yeah.
Yes.
Left 4 Dead.
100%.
I know.
Ooh, that's a whole nother podcast right there.
Well, maybe we'll just do zombies as like a vague topic. Or
Okay, that'd be a
Well,
fun
that's not a
one.
bad idea.
Yeah,
That
that would
would
be
have to be longer than 45
What
minutes.
is your favorite mission, Sterling?
Favorite mission? Well, 76, I don't really have any specific favorite, being that I still play it so often.
Yeah.
it's ever evolving. Every week I end up doing a different set of missions. Yeah, wherever I happen to be on the map, basically. Overall in Fallout, I think my favorite probably would have been wiring the bomb in Megaton
I was
and setting that off.
Megaton, but see, I was a goody two-shoes.
I did both sides of it. But after a couple times of disarming it, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to see this thing go off. And so I set it, went to the tower, and blew it up, and it was quite entertaining. You know, a precursor to what we do every day in 76, really. Setting off nukes.
I personally like Fallout 3. I won't say that. I mean, I do like having the ghoul revolt against Tenpenny Tower. Yeah. I do like that because, I mean, the way I play it is, you know, I go in through the front door, kill everybody, and then let all the ghouls in, and I'm like, I did your job for you guys.
You're their favorites.
I know, yeah. I did like, there was that, the gross pervert in the mansion, and you can go, you can go talk to his consorts, I guess is the best way to call them. And so they're like, hey, I hate this old guy and his gross balls. Can you take me to Rivet City?
Yep.
And I'm like, hell yeah, stay behind me the entire time. And then it's one of those missions where you have to be super high level because you gotta walk the entire way there because you can't fast travel with her, and you gotta know where you're going because if you don't have like the fastest route to Rivet City, she's not gonna make it.
No, she's pretty much useless wandering around the wasteland in lingerie.
Yeah, basically what I would do is I would go get her and then fast travel with her to Megaton and be like, stay in my house until I find Rivet City, and then I would go run to Rivet City, and then fast travel back, and then fast travel into Rivet City, and I'm like, I did it!
Yeah.
I feel like it might be worthy to note, too, since people might understand a little better what you're talking about, other Fallouts had companions where you could tell them what to do like that.
Well, I mean, you can't do that in Fallout 76, because that's just having a friend.
But you were just saying, but that's what you're saying, your mission.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can do that in the other one.
I guess I just assumed everybody knew that, so...
I anticipate at some point companions will become a part of the game in Fallout 76.
So,
yeah, they're called pets, and they'll just steal the programming, again, directly from Blizzard.
Yeah.
And
100%. Why not?
Morlocks.
If it works.
Mirelurks. Mirelurks is the one.
I thought that's what your dog was.
No, that's dog meat.
Dog meat is your dog.
Yeah, he's just your dog. Well, he is a companion, though, because I don't think you can have him and Victoria.
Definitely die in 3.
Yeah, you can kill him.
Yeah, pretty easily, too.
Vegas,
Man, this dog dies quick. Favorite perks. So perks are when you level up, you get enough points. They go into, like, your normal stats, but you can also choose a random bonus ability, basically. Okay. Like in D&D, how you add a feat to your character at certain levels.
I get that. I understand that.
Frank?
I think the one that I use the most would be Pharma. It's where you can go to a chemical or a... What's the word?
Medical container?
A medical container. I'm thinking of something else, but and you can actually check it twice and things will pop up. Medkit. That's still not what I was thinking of.
A pharmacy. Your drug dealer.
The chem boxes. That's what it is. Okay. The chem box or the first aid kit you can open again, and sometimes there's extra stuff. I think that's probably my most useful one. There's
a stim pack stuck to the lid. Oh, no, great.
Exactly.
You guys scrape the cheese off the pizza box.
That's right.
That's right.
I'm not sure what's going on.
She's so sick.
What's going on?
If you want to see Kamala's face, you can see it on my channel.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a full podcast episode. Hopefully we haven't said anything horrible, because the editing's going to be weird.
Right?
If you want to see how terrible we can get, it's on
unedited version.
SepiaToneComa on YouTube, so you can check it there. What was your favorite...
perk card.
Favorite perk card? I would definitely go with 76 for this. I play with a lot of people, mostly randoms, because I don't have a lot of friends I could convince to buy this game, sadly. They all believe the negative press the
God
sheeple.
knows we tried.
I just don't have time to get a job that I'm paying to do.
Fair enough.
Like,
that's fair.
Yeah.
I can respect that. As far as favorite perks, I tend to like the healing perks. There's one called Rad Sponge, another one that's First Aid. Either one of those work really well when you're playing in a team, because then it'll, when you get too many rads or your health dips too low, it'll automatically use a rad away or a stim pack and heal up your teammates.
Rad is radiation poisoning, and health is health. I shouldn't have to explain health to the listeners.
Hopefully.
Rad away basically reduces your radiation poisoning. The mechanic in it is if you have a high level of rads, it prevents you from healing to that portion of your health bar.
Okay.
So,
And enough
Rad
rads,
away
you will
reduces
form mutations.
yeah.
Okay.
Which can be
For
good
like
or
a
bad.
third nipple or something.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes.
Grow an arm out of your
I mean,
stomach.
cool.
fourth or fifth nipples.
Yeah.
Grow another arm, nipples on that.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's everywhere.
I need another pair of arms,
Yeah.
so I'd be okay with this.
I'm going to say the cannibalism perk is great because you can just eat corpses.
Yep.
People don't love it, but
I
you can
forgot
do it.
about that.
Very useful.
I actually...
Why would you eat people?
I mean, there's also the gore shower perk where you
Bloody mess.
Bloody mess,
Yes.
where you shoot
What?
people and they automatically blow up and spray viscera.
Gross. See, I can never play this game.
If you want to see it cranked up to the max, we did unlock all perks in the Adventures of Punch Boy, and then I also put a mod on the game to make it even gorier. So
Yeah, I remember watching that episode.
And
Trust
Punch Boy
me, that
had
was gross.
maximum, had like the too many nines joke of strength, so you punch somebody and they automatically explode. Exactly like Fists of the North Star. So
Nasty.
no, I'm a basic bitch, so I like Mysterious Stranger when you use your VATS targeting, which is basically you have the gun shoot itself thing, and it like does a cinematic gunshot. You have a percentage chance of a mysterious trench coat wearing big ol' hat guy show up with a hand cannon and Dirty Harry, the dude you're shooting at. So
Yep.
Nice.
And he
Which-
sucks,
which
by the way,
also
but
is-
whatever.
yeah, he sucks, but I'm a basic bitch, and I like the cinematography. Okay.
I agree. It's very
To
good.
be fair, he didn't suck in Fallout 3 or 4.
No,
Or New Vegas. Like, he was a quite useful
you're saying he sucks
character.
in
76
In
is a basic
76,
bitch.
it seems to be a bit of a faulty perk card.
Okay.
I've tried using it, and quite often he'll show up, the music will play, he'll
But
shoot
he
a
won't
couple times,
do
and
it.
nothing will die.
Yeah, and you're like,
At which
"It's
point you
fine."
go, was that perk card really worth it?
He's more like Tuxedo Mask. He
Yes.
throws a rope, and my job is done. Whoosh.
Yes.
Maybe a little less than
smoke
16
bomb.
less, maybe a little more like Odd Job.
Who throws a shoe?
Honestly.
Honestly, I think that's it. We had one more that we wanted
we
to
were
talk
gonna
about.
talk
Favorite
about-
characters. I mean, this
Oh,
one's pretty
NPCs.
quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Quick.
Uh,
Who's your character or whatever?
For New Vegas, probably the King. He was like an Elvis character. They
Yeah.
didn't know his name was Elvis because it was so far. They just saw him referred to as the King. So this character, he dressed that way and sounded that way, and he was referred to as the King. But for 76, it would 100% without even thinking about it be Biv. Biv, the drunk ass robot. He's amazing. You have to go downstairs in the tattoo parlor and you find this robot who is just there to test alcohol, and every day you can bring him more booze.
Wasn't that in one of your videos?
Yeah, he's in my videos quite a lot because I think
seeing
that Biv is hilarious.
Yes.
And depending on if you're a woman, he'll call you doll, which I don't know why, but people who call me doll, I'm just like, oh. But he'll call you homeboy if you're a man. And just some of the things he says, like at one point, he's like, shh, the cops are coming. And he's like, haha, just kidding. Because he's wasted, right? I think he's the most creative character
Love it.
that they've come up with.
how about you?
Favorite character? I've got a soft spot for Gob from Fallout 3. I really
Okay.
wish we could have had him as
I was
a
gonna say
companion.
him too. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Just some of the one-liners he has, and the fact that he's always pining after the ladies, and he's a ghoul. Nobody
He's
wants to
a-
touch
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Ghouls are just like skin falling. They're like overly radiated, so like they're all cancer, lumpy.
Like
and-
leopards?
yeah,
Yeah, like leopards. Yeah.
Leopards,
Yeah.
Yeah, got radiation sickness, but survived through it somehow,
Yeah, so
and
they're
didn't
still
go
alive,
absolutely
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, because most of the ghouls end up
feral.
Yeah, feral, but some of them retain their faculties, but they're still treated like second-class citizens because,
Of course.
again, it's almost like this whole game series is making statements about shit.
No,
Racism bad, nuclear war bad, capitalism is doomed to fail, just the normal stuff.
It's the normal stuff.
Not so much in 76. Nuclear war is good in 76. I mean, you want to be launching the nukes. That was the whole game mechanic.
Yeah. The nukes are good if you have the key, but if you don't, it's bad. It's bad news bears. I don't know. I was gonna say gob, so
Sorry, I stole your
dog
answer.
meat. Dog meat
I was
is
hoping you'd say dog meat.
Codsworth, metal husband.
Oh, yeah,
Metal Codsworth was good.
Codsworth.
Metal husband.
Oh, yes, he's cleaning forever even though nobody's there, poor thing.
I do a lot of crazy shit.
Do
Do you know how hard it is to get rust?
out of rust?
Very nice.
Let's wrap up here. So you can find all of our random shit. Frank, you can find her Twitter at...
My Twitter, I believe, is SepiaTone__coma. Everything else, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, you name it, is just SepiaToneComa.
And for Sterling, can find his shit at...
Well, I don't do a whole lot. I used to do some YouTube. You can find that at Sterling925. There's a lot of Fallout 4 videos there. I did a lot of that, as well as some live streaming back a couple years ago. Debating on getting back into that, so you may see some fresh content coming up. And my Instagram is Sterling.9256.
Cool.
He's currently in review for my drink slave. I'm hoping to hire him.
Yeah.
Your drink slave?
Yeah, as my drink slave. Shout out to Simply Neological, okay?
Okay. She's trying to get sponsorships on
I'm
the
trying to
show.
get free stuff. I'm trying to get free stuff.
She knows how to work the system. I taught her well.
Nobody listens to this. This is just us screaming into the void. I mean, we think there's 200 people listening, but that's...
It's really just Cam listening to it 200 times.
You can find...
Wait, did I get that hiss out?
You can find Kamala's stuff at our Twitter.
My Instagram is novaberryblue, and my Twitter is novaberries.
And you can find me at on Twitter at Tescud, that's TEHSCUD. Our Patreon is patreon.com/TEHSCUD. I think Frank has one too. What's your Patreon?
SepiaToneComa.
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram. I'm at Scudsworth, so TEH.Scudsworth. And all of our stuff is on scudsworth.com. There's also links to all the things. We've got a Facebook group as well. If you just plug in scudsworth.com into the Facebook thing, just go to the website. There's links at the top there. If you prefer to do social media instead of look at my website, you dicks. We will be back with more shit next week. It'll be a normal episode, I imagine, unless something super changes and we decide to have another guest on for some reason. Am I forgetting?
Nope, that's it.
No?
Just
Okay.
remember to like what you like and like however you like and however
What
you want to
and-
like.
We really got to write that down.
We gotta write that down.
And remember, love is the answer.
There we go.
Okay. I guess that's your
That's my sign off.
Okay. You want to sign off too?
No, I don't. No sign off for me.
It's just like peace.
No. Yeah.
It's just fuck you. Jump off
I'm out, bitches.
There you go. That's the
the gender is great. Bite my shiny metal ass there. I don't know anything. The music's gonna play.
And the music's gonna play. Bye. Love you.
Love you. I don't know. Love you. Love you.